I never imagined the woman I married, the one I had dreamed of growing old beside, would be the one to unravel my world from the inside out. We had been together for 6 years, 3 of those as husband and wife. From the outside looking in, our life appeared picture perfect. There were dinners shared with close friends, laughter-filled holiday photos, couples game nights where we always seemed like the team to beat. But behind that polished exterior, something had quietly shifted. She had grown distant. Her phone never left her hand. Conversation became clipped and cold. Her affection dulled to routine gestures. Anytime I asked the simplest question, her tone turned offensive. And yet, despite the distance, I never suspected betrayal until it hit me. Sudden and brutal. Not through suspicion, but by sheer accident. One evening, my phone had died. I reached for hers to call my mother. Just as I was about to dial, a message lit up the screen. "Can't wait to see you tonight. He still doesn't know." The word stopped my breath. My hands trembled, my chest hollowed, and the urge to throw up tightened in my stomach. I confronted her that night, my voice raw with disbelief. At first she denied it outright. When the evidence stood too glaring to refute, she didn't apologize. She just looked at me and said, "It just happened." But the worst wasn't over. A week later, the man she'd been seeing, let's call him Dean, had the audacity to show up at my front door. Tall, smug, and oozing arrogance, he stood there like a villain from a second-rate drama. With a cocky smirk, he said, "Look, man, you've been replaced. She chose me. You've got 2 options. Leave quietly or be a man and face me." Stunned, I wasn't sure if he was trying to provoke a fight or just wanted me to bow my head in defeat. Either way, it felt like he was trying to erase me from my own life. I said nothing, just closed the door in his face. Had no intention of stooping to that level. Adamaya, but make no mistake, the fire inside me was lit. I wasn't going to walk away in silence, Anaya, and I sure as hell wasn't going to let them define my ending. The next morning, I called a lawyer. Divorce, asset division, every detail handled with cold precision. I wasn't looking for revenge. I wanted my dignity. And what they didn't see coming was how meticulous I could be. She had been using my credit card for their hotel rooms, their dinners, their secret getaways. I gathered it all. Receipts, message logs, location history, every piece of evidence. My lawyer reviewed the file and told me I had a strong case, both for infidelity and financial misconduct. When the case went to court, the truth was undeniable. The judge saw everything laid bare. She didn't get half, not even close. She got far less than she had expected. And Dean, that arrogant smirk disappeared fast when reality settled in. They had to move into a cramped, poorly lit apartment because she could no longer afford a mortgage on her own. Turns out her shiny new man wasn't much of a provider. His income came from inconsistent gigs and sketchy side hustles, not the kind of stability she once mocked me for offering. Meanwhile, I kept my head down and rebuilt. Friends who had drifted during the chaos slowly returned when they saw how I handled everything with silence, grace, and unwavering focus. I didn't trash her name. I didn't fight anyone. I didn't seek out confrontation or sympathy. I healed. I went to the gym, picked up hobbies I long shelved, traveled to places I once dreamed of, and rediscovered the peace that comes with solitude. The pain never vanished entirely, but it transformed first into resilience, then into quiet strength. Months passed, then came the message from her. I missed the life we had. I made a mistake. I stared at it for a moment and deleted it without replying. There was nothing left to say. Loyalty is not something you can beg for, nor can it be demanded. It must be mutual, a choice made daily. I had been ready to give her everything, and she threw it away for a fleeting thrill. Dean reached out once, to some nonsense about wanting to clear the air. I ignored it. He made his choice. So did she. I owed them nothing. No response, no scene, no closure. They wanted to show one last performance, some dramatic confrontation. To soothe their bruised egos, I denied them that satisfaction. Now, a year later, I barely recognize the man I used to be. Back then, I was too trusting, too willing to believe in what I wanted rather than what was. Maybe I was blind. Maybe I was naive, but not anymore. I'm stronger now, sharper. I've learned to read the signs I once ignored. More importantly, I've learned to value myself. The most powerful part? I never had to raise my voice, never had to throw a punch, never had to prove anything to a man like Dean. I didn't need to face him like a man because I was already one. I stood firm. I handled my pain with strategy, with self-respect, and with silence. And in the end, I walked away with my pride intact, something neither of them could ever take from me.